What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with 16 weeks out physique update of now the former Arnold Classic champion Ramon Dino, doing all the things necessary to be the last man standing on the Classic Physique Olympia stage in October this year. So this is gonna be a really long prep for Ramon, almost 20 weeks, and the man is already looking extremely impressive, especially in terms of the size that he is carrying around right now with that insane conditioning. That is so damn good. So I believe we are gonna see the best Ramon to date, and that version is gonna be extremely dangerous, based on the fact that since 2019, that year when Chris Bumstead won his first ever Mr. Olympia, no one has pushed Chris Bumstead as hard as Ramon did last year. And yes, I know Chris won majority of the shots, but Ramon was definitely able to close that gap. So that loss at the Arnold, Ohio, that left a very bad taste in his mouth. And do not forget that the Brazilian fans are as passionate about their athletes as the Iranian fans are. Like when Hadi Choopan lost the Olympia last year, he thought that he let his fans down, he let his country down. So Ramon Dino also must have had the exact same thoughts. And this will allow him to work harder than ever. And he probably has been more motivated than ever. And the man is definitely looking for redemption. Plus, that Vasily Vizer's factor. That is of course gonna play a huge role. And Ramon now has to solidify himself once again that he is the next in line to win the Olympia title and not Vasily Vizer's. I have another classic physique update for you guys. So guess who is traveling to Kuwait at the Occident gyms for these final few weeks to complete his prep there? That's the former classic physique Miss Olympia champion, Breon Ansley, who just arrived in Kuwait, along with his longtime coach and the legendary trainer, Chris Cormier, which only means one thing. He is going to be bringing a great package to this upcoming Dubai Pro, and he is most probably going to win $60,000 in prize money. And to be completely fair, there really isn't anybody else out there who is going to be able to challenge Breon here for the win. There was a chance that Michael Dabur might show up here, but other than that, none of the top 7 guys from the Olympia last year are going to be competing here. So this might very well be a very easy win for Breon. And the way Breon showed up at this year's Arnold, there are only a few guys out there who can actually beat him. And those are top 6 guys in the world. Plus, there is another side to this story as well. Chris Cormier arriving in Kuwait. That means he's gonna push Rubiel Mosquera, aka Naxilla, during these final few weeks. Which means a lot for Rubiel. Because Chris is a master of breaking down poses and allowing his athletes to showcase their strengths in the best possible way on the stage. Because if we take a look at Rubiel's posing at his pro debut, which was at Prague last year, although he did a great job, especially considering the fact that he just won his pro card just one day before that show. But we have to keep in mind, Rubiel has been competing in other federations before that as well. But now with Chris Cormier in his corner, he's gonna help him smooth out those edges, especially in terms of posing plus his training as well. And he might be able to beat him much better than what we saw at Prague. So Rubiel is gonna be one of the biggest wildcard at this year's Dubai Pro. And let's just not forget, he was able to beat Nathan Gisha at his debut last year. So the man is definitely gonna be in the mix, fighting for the title there. So based on what we saw in Italy, where Behrouz Tabani was able to beat a very good Nathan Gisha, he's gonna be the favorite going into that show. He is obviously gonna be the frontrunner here. And we have to keep in mind, there is a lot of money on the line here in Dubai. $100,000 for the first place finish. So I believe every one of these guys is gonna make sure that they bring their all-time best. So I believe this is gonna be a very exciting show. So it has been a few months since Rubiel competed last time, and I believe if he's able to make the slightest improvements in the shoulder work, he's gonna be more dangerous than ever, and he's gonna have a legitimate shot at winning this Dubai Pro. So next up we have another classic update. So he has never looked this big and this lean during the off-season. So hopefully this is gonna translate in terms of some real gains on the stage, and hopefully we are gonna see bare arms, and especially bare back in October from Urs this year. And it isn't like Urs hasn't improved in those areas before. He has made some great strides in almost every area. Since 2021, that year he won his first pro show, and also did his first ever Mr. Olympia. But the thing is, the competition on the other hand has improved faster than him. So who else believes that Urs wasn't exactly off at either Arnold Ohio or Arnold UK? In fact, I have to say that look that we saw from him at this year's Arnold UK, that was arguably the best look of his career. He was peeled out of his mind, and that too all around. Plus at the same time, he had fullness on him that we never saw on his physique before. But still he dropped down to 3rd, behind Breon Ansley. So this Olympia is certainly going to be a turning point for Urs, This can be the make or break year for Urs. Now, I'm not hating on Urs here, I'm a fan of his physique. But the thing is, for him to beat a guy like Chris Bumstead, for him to win that Mr. Olympia title, he first have to beat all these other guys, like Ramon Dino, like Fazi. And even then, he is gonna need some help from all these other guys. He needs them to come in off. He needs them to miss their mark. Which I know can definitely happen. Anything can happen on the day of the show. But if all of these other guys bring their A game, which has been happening for quite some time now, I have to say it is gonna be extremely tough for Urs to repeat that third place performance as he has been doing for the last couple of years. The greatest men's physique champion, Jeremy Buendia, is finally back in the gym. He was seen hitting some poses for the fans. So this is the first time we saw him back in the gym after he tore his Achilles tendon. Not once, but twice in a span of 2 months. So it is safe to say that he is out of this year's Mr. Olympia race, because he needs a lot of catching up to do, and that too in a very short time. But still, the man hasn't shut down the idea of him coming back to the stage in 2025 and present a far better package than what we saw at the Olympia last year, where he placed 8th. So Jeremy believes that it was a peaking issue, and that did not allow him to place higher. But realistically speaking, he just took way too much time off from the stage. So Jeremy lost his Olympia title back in 2018, and neither him nor his coach at that time, Hadi Ramon, these guys were not proud of that look. Because he was defending his title, and he dropped down to 4th place. And one of the reasons that happened was because of his pec tear that happened earlier during that year. And I have to say that is still somewhat evident even to this day. You can still see that on his physique. Plus the fact that he was away from the stage for almost 5 years, and the division just evolved so much. And I have to say, no matter how good you are in your prime, it is extremely hard to come back and try to be the best in the world after taking a break of 5 long years. But Jeremy still thinks that he can do that. A little glimpse of what the Persian Wolf is cooking out there in Iran. So, we know we all have our favorites, but if you are a betting man, I am sure most of you are gonna put your money on Derek and Hadi as the top 2 guys again this year. So Hadi proved himself big time at this year's Arnold Classic, especially in Ohio. That was purely greatness. How dominant he was and how he shut down all his critics who were pointing that out, that his waist is getting wider, he is getting blockier. But the way he implemented that vacuum, followed by that transition into those deep developed abs, that is just next level. That is so damn good. And Hadi is truly an example who can do both vacuum as well as crunch down version in almost all of his front shots. And the reason is he has some of the best abs in the men's open bodybuilding right now. And not just in the men's open, in the entire bodybuilding world for that matter. So it took us, 5 years to see Hadi Choopan bring his very best, because previously, everyone just talked about his look back at Vancouver Pro in 2019. But this 2024 version, that exceeded all the expectations. So will he be even better than that at this upcoming Mr. Olympia? Well, of course, this is the Persian Wolf we are talking about. So he is gonna do everything in his power to be even better than that and try to reclaim his throne. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.